Yes, this is a very random matchup, but you still clicked, so I win. Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha, two warriors who stand at the pinnacle of shinobi strength and power, rivals bound by fate wielding the power to shape and shatter the very world around them, versus the Guardians of Paris, holders of the miraculous of creation and destruction, each granted one half of Miraculous's god of reality, divine power which endows them with superhuman strength, speed, agility, and invulnerability. Naruto and Sasuke versus Ladybug and Cat Noir. I know this matchup is random. These two series have absolutely nothing in common. But this video was actually inspired by Jesse Golo and his Ladybug and Cat Noir scaling videos, which showed me just how overpowered these two are, and I wanted to put them up against my favorite anime duo of all time, Naruto and Sasuke. Just wanted to give him credit since he was the original inspiration for this video. Now, is power scaling really the smartest thing to post as my fourth video ever? Probably not. Can the community get a little corrosive if you get something wrong? Definitely. Did I spend way too much of my teenage life watching power scaling videos instead of going outside and need to validate it somehow? Yes, so anyway, I'll be breaking this video up into speed, strength, or power and their various hacks abilities, and then tell you at the end who I think would win. And trust me, it's a lot more interesting than you might think. I'll start the speed section with Naruto and Sasuke since I'm more familiar with their speed scaling. It's generally accepted in the Naruto community that Naruto and Sasuke are light speed, bare minimum, if like much faster probably. Even high Jonin and Kage level ninja like Kakashi and Raikage have statements putting them at, or at least implying that they're light speed. Even a 14-year-old Kakashi was able to see a lightning bolt coming and run up a mountain to cut it in half. We also have characters who are more blatantly stated to be the speed of light, like Haku. In the first arc of the story has a statement about being able to move between his mirrors at the speed of light. The Raikage and B, when performing their combined lariat attack, are stated in the data books to be moving at almost the speed of light, although they are amped by their lightning and tailed beast cloaks respectively. Minato also has a feat where a full power Raikage A is rushing at him at full speed and manages to grab his kunai, throw it in the air, and teleport to it, all while the Raikage is within a few feet of him. Although this was a younger Minato and Raikage, so maybe neither of them were as fast as they were in Shippuden, but this should probably still reach into those relativistic levels of speed. In Naruto Retsuden, Naruto is battling a chakra-related illness which doesn't allow him to use his chakra and powers properly. And even then, in an altercation he's able to move fast enough to react to and deflect shots from a laser gun, which literally shoots photons. So a Naruto amped with Sage Mode, Kurama, 6 Paths, or even Baryon Mode would get a very significant speed amp, making him many times the speed of light. And in the War Arc, Naruto is able to amp every member of the Shinobi Alliance with his chakra, and was still able to fight the Ten Tails, Madara, and Obito, the main villains of the arc who are far stronger than even the Kage and the higher tier Shinobi. A lot of these higher tier ninja having faster than light combat speed, and Naruto amps them to 3 times their normal speed and power, so Naruto is probably tens to dozens of times the speed of light, and probably even more with 6-Path Sage Mode. I would bring up the Light Fang Madara used in his battle with Naruto, but I feel as if he more aim dodged that rather than actually dodging the beam of light itself. When Naruto fights Delta in Boruto, he's able to move fast enough to prevent one of Delta's light-based attacks from hitting Himawari, making him bare minimum light speed. Given that Naruto and Sasuke are considered to be equals, they should be around the same speed tier. Maybe Naruto is a little bit faster since most of his amps are purely physical stat boosts, but Sasuke could also amp his perception and reaction speed with his EMS. Sasuke also has his Amenotoji Kara in his left Rinnegan eye, an ability which allows him to switch places with any object or person in his line of sight instantly. So as adults, Naruto and Sasuke are very clearly bare minimum light speed, if not far greater, as they very much transcend a lot of the characters I previously mentioned, and they should be multiple times the speed of light. While Naruto and Sasuke have some insane speed scaling, Ladybug and Cat Noir's speed scaling is a little bit trickier to quantify, with feats that range from impressive to outright absurd. So in the first season's first couple of episodes, Ladybug and Cat Noir seem to be able to dodge lightning strikes from stormy weather pretty easily, already putting them at lightning speed within the first few episodes of the series. Later on in the show, they fight villains capable of firing lasers and even light-based attacks. all of these feats which apply to one of them applies to the other, since it's stated that the Black Cat and Ladybug are equals in power. One of Cat Noir's more impressive speed feats come from season 4 episode 21, where he uses his cataclysm to destroy a giant galet and flies over 4 times the distance of the Earth's diameter in order to reach it. For my calculations, in order to do this, he would need to reach around 15.24 million meters per second, or around 50 times the speed of light in the time that he did. And he did this very casually, with not much effort at all. Two of the other more intense speed feats Cat Noir performs are in season 3 episode 22, Cat Blanc. In this episode, an akumatized Cat Noir loses control of his powers and creates a cataclysm explosion which destroys all of Paris, and a laser is fired to the moon in about 1 second from this explosion, putting the attack at 1.1 to 1.28 times the speed of light. A few minutes later in the same episode, he threatens to destroy everything because Ladybug doesn't love him. He then creates a cataclysm orb which expands from the size of a small ball to a few times the size of the galaxy in around 12 seconds, which comes out to be over 100 billion times the speed of light. But since Akumas amped their victims, it's debatable if we should grant this to base Cat Noir, but if you count it, it makes their high-end speed scaling absolutely ridiculous, because Ladybug would have fought Cat Blanc and still held her own most of the fight. So I hope you're starting to see why their speed scaling is so hard to pin down. They go from lightning speed to light speed to tens or even billions of times the speed of light. While Ladybug and Cat Noir do have insane travel speeds, their combat and reaction speeds seem to be more consistently in the light speed to FTL ranges, and they only reach those upper insane levels of speed when using their other transformations such as the spacesuit, or when amped by an outside force like an Akuma, keeping them comparable to Naruto and Sasuke in battle scenarios. Okay, so we're gonna get into the strength section now, and since the last section started with Naruto and Sasuke, this section will start with Ladybug and Cat Noir. When it comes to their strength scaling, it's not really that consistent either, unfortunately for me. They seem to fight people in the ranges of city block to building levels of power, but later on in the series, their opponents get into the planetary ranges of scaling. And the thing is, they never really seem to be too bothered fighting them. They fight akumatized villains on a regular basis and don't really react that much. They regularly fight people who can lift the Eiffel Tower and villains with strange hacks and powers and just beat them every single time. My favorite feat from one of the villains was in season 3 episode 17, Stormy Weather 2, where she instantly creates a supervolcano powerful enough to move the planet from its orbit around the sun, creating an infinite winter. A feat like this would require an energy of around 2.6479 times 10 to the power of 33 joules, which sits around the middle of planetary level. And when Stormy Weather makes this statement, Ladybug barely reacts at all. In fact, she just makes a joke immediately afterwards.
Can she really do that?
Probably. But don't worry, Kitty. We're not gonna let her rain on Paris's parade.
Not really affected by that statement at all. And even at the end of the episode, she just instantly moves the planet back into place. I also mentioned earlier how Cat Noir destroyed the giant galet created by Tiki, the Kwame of creation. This galet was roughly 7.5 times the size of Earth, and Cat Noir's cataclysm just disintegrates it. He just travels to it and destroys it, which would likely place this feat into the higher end of planetary and maybe slightly into the large planet levels. On the higher end of their feats, I mentioned earlier that Cat Noir formed a cataclysm which expanded to be multiple times larger than the galaxy. In character and without being akumatized, he probably wouldn't do this, but the fact that Ladybug was able to fight against this amped Cat Noir at this level is still very impressive, although Cat was probably still holding back for most of their time fighting since he was probably still in love with her. So I think I can place them pretty comfortably in planet to large planet, since that's more consistent, and up to galaxy on the high end if you really want to. Getting into the Naruto scaling side of things, this is surprisingly just as, if not more contentious than Ladybug scaling. Naruto characters, at least post-War Arc 6 Paths characters, are pretty solidly in the planet levels ranges of power, and even up to solar system levels of power. But even pre-War Arc, the Nine Tails had a statement of being able to destroy the world, and considering Kurama has the largest chunk of chakra from the Nine Tails, this makes sense. But this statement was made about half of the Nine Tails, the half that was inside Naruto. So a full Nine Tails is probably at the very least double that. Even Madara could cut mountains in half with his perfect Susanoo just by unsheathing its sword. And later on, Jubidara is then able to create Chibaku Tensei so large they eclipse the size of Sasuke's Susanoo. Mado's Chibaku Tensei were so massive that Kishimoto had to emphasize how big they were by depicting the Earth's curvature in the background. And Naruto and Sasuke just casually destroy them. Later on in the same arc, Team 7 face off against Kaguya. At the time, she was truly a godlike entity, and then she creates the expanding truth-seeking orb, which was going to destroy the dimension they were in and create an entirely new time space. Kaguya's dimension was depicted with a star inside of it, which makes this feat solar system level, since it would require that amount of energy to perform this feat. And I don't think many people would argue with that, but some would interpret that to be universal, but I am not touching that claim with a 10-foot pole. The more contentious scaling would come from the Boruto era, where the feats became a little bit more complicated and difficult to quantify, mostly pertaining to Momoshiki and the other Otsutsuki. I'm not going to go into the whole Momoshiki is universal argument here because that's another topic that no. But if you think that frame of Momoshiki on the planet was in a universe that he created, then I'm not going to stop you. I'm not taking that stance myself, but hey, all power to you, big guy. And with the introduction of Shibai and his dimensional transcendence, it has become a little bit more vague as to how the Otsutsuki grow after each fruit they eat. But they do get stronger after each fruit they eat, so it's unlikely they hard cap at planetary or solar. But I want to use as much concrete evidence as possible for this video, so for the time being, we'll cap them at solar attack potency and multi-solar with hacks and some transformations. So all that to say that Naruto and Sasuke scale to around solar system to multi-solar system level, and maybe more with Wank if you are so inclined. That I've covered both sides' major feats and placed them in a range I think are most likely in terms of their speed and power. Who do I think would win this fight of planet-busting proportions? We're going to assume that both teams are in character and fighting until their opponents are either incapacitated or killed. I don't think it's realistic to assume that Ladybug and Cat Noir would use their most broken abilities right off the bat, but it's perfectly in character for Naruto and Sasuke to do that and want to finish the fight quickly. And given the fact that Naruto and Sasuke have slightly more potent attacks, I feel like if Naruto and Sasuke get a good hit in right off the bat, they're probably beating the other two. Naruto can also create thousands of shadow clones, which are almost as strong as he is, so he could probably overwhelm the heroes, especially if they're all using 6-path Sage mode or enter the Kurama avatar. Plus, Sasuke has a Susanoo, which amps him as well. But if they're not capable of doing that, then maybe it'll just go into a battle of the hacks. Ladybug and Cat Noir have the ability of creation and destruction, which take physical form in their Lucky Charm and Cataclysm abilities I mentioned earlier. Cataclysm negates all durability. He can destroy literally anything just by touching it, and can use it however many times he chooses with no downsides. Although it is kind of disingenuous to say that he would spam that galaxy-destroying Cataclysm, since he's never shown to do it again after that one episode, and even in scenarios where it would be more beneficial to use a long-range Cataclysm, he just doesn't do that in character. The Lucky Charm ability allows Ladybug to create anything at all, and it just wins her the fight. Now this is the wild card ability because I'm not entirely sure how exactly it will interact with Naruto and Sasuke and their abilities. Maybe she brings something out and it doesn't work. Maybe she brings something out and it one-shots Naruto and Sasuke. There's no way of knowing which of these it'll be. Maybe Naruto and Sasuke bring out an ability that the Lucky Charm didn't account for, or they're able to destroy the charm before she can utilize it properly. Or maybe she can make a weapon that just shuts down Naruto and Sasuke's chakra networks, as crazy that may sound. Or maybe anything that she creates just would not scale to Naruto and Sasuke to begin with. I genuinely have no idea. And similar to Cat Noir, Naruto has an ability like the Cataclysm, only better in that it can be used at long range, and besides durability and attack negation, the truth-seeking orbs can also erase anything on a spiritual level. We see this when Minato goes back to the Pure Lands and his spirit's arms are still missing after getting destroyed by Obito's truth-seeking orbs. But if we grant the truth-seeker orbs to Naruto, I'm still not exactly sure how they would interact with Cat Noir's Cataclysm or Ladybug's Lucky Charm. I'm not exactly sure whether the truth-seeker orbs could or couldn't negate the Cataclysm, but considering the truth-seeker orbs can be used at long ranges and have much more variable uses, like being used as a Rasen Shuriken or or something like that. I'm pretty sure that they are more useful than the Cataclysm could be, especially if we assume that Cat Noir can't use the long range one unless he's akumatized. Then in that case, I'm pretty sure that the Truth Seeker orbs could probably come out on top in a situation like that. But you can come to your own conclusion on that one. But one thing I am certain in is if one of the orbs hits either Ladybug or Cat Noir, they might not have the durability or power necessary to resist them, and they would just die. Considering you need 6 paths chakra to resist their effects, so they'll also just negate any durability the heroes have too. Another win condition Naruto has is just using the sealing jutsu he got from Shukaku or incapacitating them with the black rods like he did to Madara's limbo clones, as I'm pretty sure that Ladybug and Cat Noir don't have any resistances to getting sealed. Sasuke could also use his genjutsu to paralyze them, if you even think that would work. I'm not entirely sure on this one, but if you don't, then again, I'm not entirely sure if they have the mind resistance necessary to resist genjutsu to begin with. But if you think they still need chakra to be put under Sharingan genjutsu, then that's completely fair too. But then again, Sasuke still has Amaterasu, and considering that abilities in Naruto scale with how strong you are, the Amaterasu flames would likely also scale to Sasuke's solar system AP. Another thing Sasuke could do is just BFR them with his Rinnegan portals, which would instantly win them the fight anyway. But if all else fails, the shinobi duo have the majestic attire Susanoo, a jutsu which is stated to be the strongest technique in the entire series, pre-Baryon mode, making it more powerful than Kaguya's ETSO, which scaled to solar system level. So I think Naruto and Sasuke would win if they use the heavy hitter abilities right out the gate, which they most likely will. But if they don't and Cat Noir do use their spacesuits, they might get Speed Blitz, or if Ladybug is lucky enough to create an object that can stop Naruto and Sasuke, but unless she knows everything about them, she might not be able to make something that can counter all of their abilities. And on top of everything else, Naruto and Sasuke are just better fighters, it seems. They fight Otsutskis, which have thousands of years of battle experience under their belt and still manage to keep up. And it doesn't seem like Ladybug and Cat Noir have ever fought someone on the skill level of Naruto and Sasuke. But with all that said, I think that Naruto and Sasuke win around 7 out of 10 times. I think they just have way too many abilities and hacks of their own that counter Ladybug and Cat Noir's, and Ladybug and Cat Noir don't have that many counters, and they need to be in a perfect scenario to use any counters that they do have. But if you do think Ladybug and Cat Noir scale to galaxy level or billions of times the speed of light, then they do win every single time, and it's just no contest. They don't even need to use any of their lucky charms or cataclysms. They just win instantly. But it is, in my opinion, I think it's more consistent to say that they are in those planetary to large planetary levels of power, and a little bit above light speed or a few times light speed. It seems the most consistent to me. But if you do think they are billions of times faster than light or galaxy level, then they would win every single time. But I do think Naruto and Sasuke win a majority of the time, although I can see a few scenarios where Ladybug and Cat Noir do win if everything does go right for them. But I don't think anything would go right for them, considering that they would still be swarmed by thousands of Naruto's bare minimum planet-busting clones anyway. But that's all from me. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and let me know what you think I got wrong in the comments and who you think would win. This has been Dufty. Bye.